कण ही बहुत है। न सोचो अकेली किरण क्या करेगी, तिमिर में अकेली किरण ही बहुत है। अनेकों जगह तीर्थों में नहाया, मगर आत्म संतोष कुछ मिल न पाया, मगर आत्म संतोष कुछ मिल न पाया। हृदय भावना से भरा हो अगर तो, हृदय भावना से भरा हो अगर तो, विमल वारिका मन भी बहुत है। न सोचो अकेली किरण क्या करेगी, तिमिर में अकेली किरण भी बहुत है। तिमिर में अकेली किरण भी बहुत है।
बहुत सुंदर प्रस्तुति। एक बार जोरदार करताल ध्वनियों से स्वागत कीजिए और धन्यवाद ज्ञापित कीजिए करुणा जी और स्वाति जी का, जिन्होंने एक बहुत ही सुंदर भजन से एक पूरा इस माहौल में, इसमें धार्मिकता के साथ साथ आध्यात्मिकता के साथ साथ एक जीवन को दिशा देने वाला भजन जो है हम सबके सामने प्रस्तुत किया। इस सेशन में, इस सत्र में आगे बढ़ते हुए हम लोग अब आ गए हैं ओरल प्रेजेंटेशंस पे। हमारे जो बडिंग साइंटिस्ट हैं वो अभी आप सबके सामने ओरल प्रेजेंटेशंस देंगे। इस सत्र में हमारे साथ जजेस भी रहेंगे और सबसे पहले मैं अनुरोध करूंगी प्रोफेसर जीपी राव जी से, कृपया वो मंच पर आएं इस सेशन के जज के तौर पर। आदरणीय प्रोफेसर जीपी राव जी। तालियां रुकनी नहीं चाहिए, मंच पे स्वागत कीजिए अपने जजेस का। उसके साथ साथ मैं अनुरोध करूंगी हमारी संस्था के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर अनुराग वार्ष्णी जी से कि वो कृपया मंच पर आएं एज जजेस ऑफ द ओरल प्रेजेंटेशन सेशन। जोरदार करताल ध्वनियों से स्वागत कीजिए हमारी जजेस का। ओरल प्रेजेंटेशन सेशन के कुछ नियम हैं। जितने भी हमारे प्रेजेंटर्स हैं इस बात का ध्यान रखें कि उनको 15 मिनट्स में अपनी प्रस्तुतियों को देना है। उसके साथ साथ सबसे पहले केवल 2 लाइनों में आपको ये बताना है कि आप किस संस्था से बिलोंग करते हैं, क्या आपका रिसर्च टॉपिक है। तो इस का आप समय का ध्यान रखेंगे। 15 मिनट्स के अंदर आप अपनी प्रस्तुतियों को समाप्त करेंगे। इसी के साथ साथ मैं अनुरोध करूंगी, क्योंकि हमारे बीच एक बहुत रिनाउंड, बहुत फेमस साइंटिस्ट हैं डॉक्टर UN दास जी, मैं अनुरोध करूंगी सर कि कृपया आप मंच पर आकर स्थान ग्रहण करें। तो सबसे पहले मैं मंच पे बुलाना चाहूंगी ओरल प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए हमारे फर्स्ट स्पीकर डॉक्टर तरुण वर्मा जी। बहुत एंथुसियास्टिक साइंटिस्ट हमारे डॉक्टर तरुण वर्मा जी, कृपया मंच पर आकर अपना वक्तव्य शुरू करें। सभी से अनुरोध है जोरदार करताल ध्वनि से स्वागत कीजिए डॉक्टर तरुण वर्मा जी का।
Greetings from the Banaras Hindu University and holy city of Varanasi, Baba Kasi Vishwanath, Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om. Myself, Dr. Tarun Verma, Assistant Professor in the Department of Dairy Science and Food Technology, Banaras Hindu University. I am specialized in dairy technology, and I am going to present here about value additions of herbs, because especially my focus area is on garlic and multi-millets, and this is the research work done by my student in his master program, development of herbal multi-millet save snacks incorporated with garlic paste. So these are the following points I will going to cover. Since we all know that save is the deep fat fried snack which is popular throughout India. Traditionally, it is made using basically Bengal gram flour, rice flour, and other ingredients only. But and with using salt, spices, and sodium bicarbonates, and several other spices. Garlic is also very health point of view. Garlic is very healthy and very nutritious herbs which can be incorporated in such a product. So therapeutic properties of garlic is due to its various sulfur compound present in it, such as allicin, azoine, vinyl diethane, and other volatile organosulfur compound, which I will discuss in detail later on. And we can see that garlic has many health benefit properties like antioxidant, antiviral, antimicrobial, antifungal, antihypertensive, and like such. There are much more healthy benefit can be seen by using garlic. As you are you students of Ayurveda, must be knowing all this. In this experiment, since we know that generally herbal saves are made using Bengal gram flour only. So in this experiment, my students basically replace save Bengal gram flour with finger millet flour and pearl millet flour to prepare multi-millet herbal save snacks, and addition of garlic paste into it, and try to make healthy snacks, substituting the optional substituting the snacks which are available in the market of make only from rice flour only, or garlic flour, or gram flour only. Since Bengal gram flour are known as besans or chana, belongs to bean family, Bengal gram is most popular and well accepted legumes in India, with annual consumption around 6 to 6.5 million tons. Bengal gram is a good source of Bengal flour is a good source of protein, carbohydrate, and other nutritional value like protein content, biological value is quite high, and so it is a very popular in using preparing the traditional save snacks. In finger millet, and as we know, at finger millet is gained popularity recently due to its nutritional strength in terms of dietary and functional fibers, starch patterns, and high calcium and iron contents. Its primary source for food for low-income rural residents. Because of its low sugar content and gradual glucose sugar release in the body, ragi is considered as appropriate food for diabetes patient. It has a high fiber content as well as protein, minerals, vitamins, and others cholesterol reduction properties. Similarly, we can see about pearl millet is a highly nutritious, underutilized millet that contains good quality proteins with around 13 essential amino acids are present here. Adequate fat, mostly unsaturated fats are found. Micronutrient like zinc, magnesium, and iron, vitamins, insoluble dietary fibers, phytonutrients, and it can be act against non-communicable diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart problems, and others. So it is a pearl millet is also termed as nutri-cereal because it has a high protein content and a better amino acid profile than sorghum, maize, and other similar ingredients. Since my focus was especially on garlic, so I will discuss in detail. As we know, garlic is Allium sativum. Garlic has been called the wonder drug of the herbal world due to its multifunctional benefits. Garlic is a beneficial spice because of the broad array of its nutritional constituents, phytochemicals, and fiber it contains. It has high potassium, phosphorus, zinc, and sulfur level. and it contains a moderate in amount about of selenium, calcium, magnesium, manganese and iron level, and low in sodium, vitamin A, C and B complex value. It is also, we can also find polyphenols, flavonoids, tannins, saponins, polysaccharides, etc. also. Garlic has been shown to possess antiviral property, antimicrobial property, antifungal, anti-tumor properties, antihypertensive, like this. And sulfur, mainly the health benefit of garlic is due to sulfur compound present in it, which is about 2 to 3%. The sulfur compound is water soluble and oil soluble. Water soluble is aline, cysteine, S-allyl cysteine, S-allyl mercaptocysteine, and oil soluble is like allicin, diallyl sulfides, diallyl disulfides, diallyl trisulfides, azone. As we all know, the nutritional composition of the garlic, if we consume 100 gram garlic, it make major constituent are in waters, energy, protein. We can see that protein 6.36% and total dietary fibers 2.1, and also contain minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc. Also contain many vitamins, also fatty acid, total saturated fatty acid also, and amino acids like tryptophan, isoleucine, leucine, cysteine, histidine. It is nutritionally so enriched product. It can be very beneficial in health point of view. So when we see the various bioactive compound, when garlic is subjected to processing, what happens to it? The gamma glutamyl cysteine, when subjected to processing, present in garlic, so when comes in processing, it gets breakdown into SAC, S-allyl cysteine and aline. When action was taken with allinase enzyme, it break down into allicin, then diamyl sulfide, DADS, diethene and isoniazid, etc. So we can see the mechanism of this, how this garlic when taken by our mouth and how it goes and is extract and how it's help to beneficial effect in our health or in our body. So in garlic, when it was consumed, phytoconstituents present in garlic goes in the mouth, and first action of garlic extract on oral health like oral candidiase, tooth decay, pulpitis, dental fibrosis. There's like actions on based on oral health benefit as can be seen. Then it passes to stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Then it passes from stools. That allicin is the responsible for most of the therapeutic activity in crushed garlic. It is converted to aleucomercaptan almost immediately under enzyme inhibiting gastrointestinal environment. Like aline break down to allicin, then it goes break down to allicin plus cysteine, there's S-allyl mercaptocysteine. Then when we can see that when it absorbed in the body, in the small intestine or large intestine, then it passes to pancreas and liver. The DADS and DATS composition helps in raising of insulin level and decrease the carbohydrate absorption. So it shows its anti-diabetic effect also. When it absorbed in the heart, it reaches to heart vessels, antiplatelet additions. So DADS and DATS helps to in antiplatelet additions. And like this, it also effect can be seen on the liver and kidneys and blood tissue from urine. Then it's excreted out. So these are the mechanism of action when we eat garlic, how it happens, how it moves in our body. So this basically this product development, value addition of using multi-millets and garlic. First we have to prepare garlic paste. So 1 kg garlic paste, garlic cloves was taken, and it was submerged with a 500 ml of water for 2 hours. Then it grinded in the laboratory mixer, and then it filtered with the help of the muslin cloth. With the 33 weeks paste was formed. Then again we add water in it, about 200 ml, and again we are going to further grind it and again filter it. Now this garlic juice obtained as a filtrate is weighed and weighing machine and formulation, and this garlic paste is going to be prepared the final product. So by using RSM response surface methodology, I prepared taking the optimized sample like Bengal gram flour, ragi flour, bajra flour mixed with 10% garlic paste. By deciding with RSM technology, which I will show further. Then gram flour was sieved, Then the various ingredients like turmeric powder, black powder, cardamom seeds, asafoetida, salt, masala mix, oil and waters and other ingredients are added to it. Now kneading of the dough is done. The dough is transferred to sieve machine. Then frying in the hot soybean oil and deep frying fat at about 175 degrees centigrade for 50 seconds. When oil was drained out, cooling by a centrifugal force, then cooling on the tray at room temperature, packaging in different packaging medium. So objective of the study was, my objective of the study was to develop and optimize garlic paste incorporated herbal multi-millet save snacks, and to elevate the physiochemical textural quality of the optimized herbal multi-millet save snacks, and to study its shelf-life. So to optimize the various combination, experimental run was conducted, like I was taking the lower limit of Bengal gram as 70 and higher limit as 80, and replaces this Bengal gram with finger millet with 10 to 20%, pearl millet with 10 to 20%, and garlic millet paste as 5 to 12%. Now 13 different trials of run were made, like Bengal grams, finger millets, pearl millet, garlic paste, and this was in these 30 runs was sensory attributes on the 9-point Henry scale, and textural parameter like color, flavor, texture, overall accessibility, mouthfeel, and texture parameter like hardness and crispiness was observed. All these 30 parameters, and the selection of the best with having the maximum desirability like this. We can see that the desirability of 0.963 maximum desirability with 80% Bengal gram flour, 10% ragi flour, 10% bajra flour, and 10% garlic paste, was a maximum with a color flavor score, was a optimized product was formulated by using this combination. So in the final combination, we can see the different effect of the this product on the effect on color. As the better color was of only Bengal gram flour. As we increase the level of the ragi and bajra, the color goes down, but it was acceptable up to the 80 gram flour and 10% of bajra flour and ragi flour. So
Mr. Verma, please finish. No, please summarize the result.
Okay.
Only 5
The
minutes
effect
left.
on flavor can be seen just as similarly mouth feel, and hardness was also can be seen like this. If we increase the ragi bajra flour, hardness going to increase. So crispiness, the same effect can be seen on the crispiness increases as we increase the ragi flour, but it slowly slows down again. And texture effect can also be seen. Overall stability was find that it with the addition of 80 gram optimized sample was best. Physiochemical property, we can see that saturated fat was maximum. We can see that the control product and optimized product were. So control product was optimized product was low in saturated fat, monosaturated fat. We can see this. This is the sample of control save snacks and optimized save snack. So optimized sample was low in saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, sodium, free fatty acid, peroxide value, and total moisture content. And optimized product with herbal multi-millet save snack was high in total carbohydrate, potassium, dietary fibers, iron, calcium, vitamins C, and antioxidant activity. So self-life study was done. So self-life study of peroxide value, hardness, and nitrogen flushing crispiness was done, and coliform test, a macrobiological study was also done. So finally, it can be concluded that we can prepare value addition of the multi-millets and herbs like garlic can be done by using because the traditional dairy save snacks are used daily in day-to-day life. Daily snacks are used in our homes. So we can substitute the healthy snacks with full benefits of. So we can prepare with 80:10:10 ratio with 10% garlic paste, and we can extend the shelf life also by using nitrogen flushing and other packaging means. These are some references. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Verma, for a very good presentation. Applied aspects of multi-millet based product. But I have two only small queries.
Yes, sir.
In your title, you put only multi-millet. However, you use green gram, chana. Do you think chana is a multi-millet?
नहीं sir, chana नहीं sir, chana was generally save snacks were prepared by using only chana besan, but I want to replace this chana with the ragi and bajra.
But no, title, no. Everybody on basis of title, one will expect, no.
Not only because only
Okay.
millets save was very hard, so we have to take some portion of gram flour also. Sir.
Okay, the second query, you only use for frying only soybean oil. On what basis? Why not other oils?
Because sir, it was this program was done only master level program by the student of the master level. So because soybean oil was there, so many oil, so many run must be there. So in the master programs, he gets only 6 months for completing his research work.
Achha,
So-
did you try with any variety-wise selection or this of finger millet or pearl millet or chana or any variety
No, no,
available in the market?
Nice variety grown in our VHU.
Okay. So you must mention variety name also, no?
Yes, sir,
Is it
yes, sir.
because the scientific purpose?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I am not a specialist in the area which you are talking and all those things, but I have some new questions. Number one, you prepared a paste of multi-millet with garlic paste, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there any difference if they are taken separately, or is it advantageous if you combine both?
I'm not getting some place for it.
No, suppose somebody takes only millet separately and garlic separately, and then you have prepared a paste of both together. So what is the advantage of putting them together when compared to each taking each individually?
So first I prepared the paste. Then when we mix the water with the adhesive test paste, we add the water and paste. Or duff making. In the process of duff making, we add the water and that paste to mix all this product.
No, see, my question is, suppose in the food somebody wants to take only millet, and then after some time he wants to take the garlic. So is that is taking each individually separately, is it better, or a paste? And why do you want to give a paste?
So because paste was used because we have to make a product like traditional snacks, sir. Snacks, because in snacks with paste can be mixed because it was filtered paste, so it can be mixed with water and it can be used in dough making.
Is there any nutritional advantage by making a paste of millet and garlic?
No, sir, it is I am adding value addition in the traditional. I prepare the same method by same traditional method. Same आप जैसे जनरली फैक्ट्री में जो सेब बनते हैं सिंपली उसी तरह बनते हैं. उसमें हमने गार्लिक को और मिलेट्स को अलग से ऐड करके मतलब एक नया प्रोडक्ट बनाने का कोशिश किया बस सर. न्यू प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट में सर.
Thank you very much. This is a good talk, and I think when you are hitting somewhere late in the evening, talking about snacks and that to save is a very good idea. I hope you bought a sample for everyone, and if you don't, then I have a couple of queries for you. First is that you have chosen to take two different millets. So what's the specific reason? Why these two only? And second query is that have you measured the calcium content in the same once you make it by using this new combination that you have, and if it is, then do you see a change in the calcium content?
Yes, sir. Abhi, sir, this work is because this is a master program was only, so more work is going on in further because ये program अभी just उसका result अभी submit हुआ है. अभी उसको पास time coming था. अभी next जो हमारे अंदर student आएगा, इस पे अभी further study और बाकी है जो और होना चाहिए, और इसके अभी self life पे भी और काम हो रहा है, और इसके फिर आगे हम analysis भी करेंगे कि क्या changes पहले से heat effect क्या हुआ और chemical composition में और changes इसमें कैसे हम इसको और improve कर सकते हैं. इस पे भी और work इस पे चल रहा है अभी सर. अभी सर ये growing stage में है सर.
Thank you very much. Right, folks, thanks for Dr. Verma. Let's move to the next one and clap for him.
Thank you, sir.
Jeet Ram Chaudhary.
Any question from the audience? So now I invite Mr. Jeet Ram Chaudhary ji, and who will give a talk regarding the chemical composition and nematicidal activity of Allium sativum bulb oil against root knot nematodes. I request Dr. Jeet Ram ji कि कृपया करके आप अपने वक्तव्य में इंट्रोडक्शन और मेथोडोलॉजी को बहुत ब्रीफली डिस्क्राइब करें. इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट को आप स्किप भी कर सकते हैं, और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आप अपने रिजल्ट पर फोकस करें and be specific for 15 minutes. Judges are judging you, so time is also a judging criteria, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Welcome to my presentation. Myself Jeet Ram Chaudhary. I'm a student from the Division of Agriculture Chemicals, Acharya, New Delhi. My presentation topic is chemotypic variation and nematicidal activity of the oil from Allium sativum genotypes. So, as we know, the global population is increasing at an alarming rate, resulting in the shrinkage of agricultural land, which poses a major challenge of food security all over the world. One of the major perils of modern day agriculture has been the crop loss due to the pest attack during the growing, storage and transportation. So out of crop loss caused by different bioagents, the maximum area covered by the weeds and followed by the insects and then diseases. So for the proportion of usage of different agrochemicals in India, the maximum area used by insecticide and then followed by the fungicide and then herbicide. So according to the Theodon and co-workers 2011, the global crop loss caused by the plant parasitic nematode is more than 100 billion. Among the various plant parasitic nematode, Melodogani species is the most destructive to agriculture and horticulture crops. So root knot nematode have been identified as a major plant parasitic nematode which attack most of the agriculture crops. And plant secondary metabolites are a resource of phytochemicals comprising of different classes of compounds such as terpenes, alkaloids, flavonoids, etc. One such natural product are the essential oil, which have been largely used in various industries such as flavoring, perfumery, food processing, etc. However, their full potential as a crop protection agent is yet to be explored. So various essential oil have been screened for their nematicidal activity. However, there are limit work regarding the effect of selected essential oils or extract against the root knot nematode under various conditions. So Denko and co-workers in 2011 also report the hatching stimulatory effect of garlic against the Globodera pallida nematode under in vitro conditions, and also Al-Nagidi and co-workers in 2014 also report the garlic extract so the nematicidal and nematode hatching inhibitory activity on nematodes. According to Salim and co-workers, various plant extracts based on garlic, ginger, cinnamon, neem, castor, bean, nerium and eucalyptus were tested in vitro against root knot nematode, which saw the nematicidal effect on nematode juveniles. So the major objective of my study was to isolate and determine the chemical composition of the essential oils from the bulb of different garlic genotypes and to evaluate the essential oil against the Melodogani incognita and Melodogani gramicola. The technical program of my research work was the collection of the different varieties or breeding lines or local landrace of Allium sativum and isolation of essential oil by hydrodistillation, and identification and quantification of major compounds by GCFID and GCMS, and preparation of different concentration of oil for bioassay, and evaluation of test solution through the in vitro analysis against the Melodogania incognita and Gramicola, and pot experiment against the Melodogania incognita. So firstly, I isolate the essential oil, the bulb of garlic variety crushed in the grinder, and hydrodistillation by the cleavage apparatus, and collection of essential oil, and then drying, purification and storage. So the out of 18 samples, the maximum oil concentration was found in the Bimamkar variety, which was the 0.32%, and minimum percentage was found in the G282 variety. So earlier varieties also have the oil percentage 0.11%, so Bimamkar variety have the maximum oil concentration, which I found in my study. And chemical profiling of essential oils was done by the GCFID and GCMS, both equipped with the DV5 capillary column, and the flow rate of sample was the 1 ml per minute, and the ionization mode in the mass spectrometer was electroionization at 70 electron volt with the mass range of 28 to 400 atomic mass unit, range at 1 scan per second. So by GCFID and GCMS, I have identified and quantified 8 compounds out of 8. 4 major compounds I find, which are the diallyl disulfide, diallyl trisulfide, diallyl tetrasulfide, and methyl allyl trisulfide, which are found maximum in different varieties, and the preparation of formulation. So essential oil of different varieties of garlic were mixed with the distilled water and the 4% 280, mixing in a magnetic stirrer and preparation of the 1% stock solution. So the in vitro bioassay of Melodogania gramicola. So for this bioassay, first I dilute the stock solution to prepare the test solution, take the infected root and cut into the pieces, and root pieces kept on the muslin cloth which placed on the wire mesh, and pressed J2 of Melodogania gramicola collector after 48 hours and counted through the microscope. And different concentration of essential oils poured into the culture plate, and observation taken after 24, 48, 72 and 96 hours. So I have taken 4 varieties for the bioassay. So out of 4 variety, Bima Purple, Bima Omkar, G386 and G282, I have found the maximum motility of nematode found in the Bima Omkar variety, which range from 81.67 to the 100% after 96 hours. And I have also observed that with increasing the concentration of the essential oil, the motility also increase, and with increasing the exposure of time, the motility also increase, as we seen also shown in the graph. And again the in vitro bioassay Melodogania incognita. For the Melodogania incognita, dilution of the steak solution to prepare the test solution, and take infected root and cut into the pieces, and root pieces kept on the muslin cloth which placed on the wire mesh, and the presses J2 of an incognita collector after 48 hours, and observation taken after 24, 48, 72 and 96 hours. So the same results were found in also the Melodogania incognita, and the most effective variety found is the Bima Omkar. Motility also found same as Melodogania gramicola, and with increasing the exposure of time and increasing the concentration of the oil, the motility also increasing. For the pot experiment, I have taken Pusa Ruby variety from the Division of Vegetable Science from IRI, and I have transplant the seedlings of the variety after 20 days, and I have formed 2 solutions, 2000 ppm, 3000 ppm, and 150 ml of formulation of each concentration applied through the drains method, and 500 J2s of incognita poured into the soil, and observation taken after the 30-day and 60-day of inoculation. So I have taken various parameters for the observation of the pot study. So in case of shoot length after the 60 days, 21% growth found compared to the control, and in case of shoot weight, I have found around 19% growth increase in the case of shoot weight, and in case of root length, I have found around 35% increase compared to the water control, and in case of root weight, I have found around 50% increase in the root weight compared to the water control. And in case of number of galls per seedling, 66% reduction in the number of galls compared to the water control, as shown in the graph also. And I have taken my pictures from my research, and the conclusion of my study was the allium sativum genotypes were found to be contain variable amount of oil, and the major Bima Omkar variety found the contain highest amount of oil, and lowest amount of oil was found in the G282 variety, and allium cetine was found in rich in diallyl trisulfide, diallyl disulfide, diallyl tetrasulfide, and methyl allyl trisulfide, and the composition of the compound was variable variety to variety. And all the garlic oil were found showed more than 95% mortality of both nematode after 96 hours, and garlic essential oil also were found effective under pot experiment against Melodogani species. The garlic junta having highest amount of oil can be used as a source of oil for commercial purpose also, because before varieties which have oil which have minimum percentage around 0.11% according to the Chopra and co-workers. And thus the garlic oil can be used for the control of nematicide in agriculture crops. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Why do you call them essential oils?
Yes, sir.
Why do you call them essential oil?
Sir, I'm not getting, sir. Because essential oil has a sense, that's why it's called essential oil, and it's have particular aroma, particular oil to oil. That's why it's called essential oil, sir.
Aromatic oils. What is the composition of the oils?
What, sir?
What is the composition?
Composition of?
This oil.
Yes, sir. But composition of oil, because sir, I have done GCAPID and GCMS. So through the GCMS, I have find 8 compounds in every variety. So 8 compounds were allyl disulfide, allyl trisulfide, allyl tetrasulfide, methyl allyl sulfide, and other trace compound also were found there.
Of all these compounds, which one is the best?
Sir?
Your oil contains 7-8 components, right? Which is the best of all?
Allyl trisulfide, sir. Maximum percentage found in allyl trisulfide.
So why don't you use only that portion instead of all the other components?
What, sir?
So why won't you use only the most efficient of the component of the oil,
Yes, sir.
instead of a combination of all those that are present in the oil?
Actually, sir, I used only oil because we didn't separate the particular compound from the oil. Just we used the oil against the nematode.
Is there any effect of the oil on the plant?
Sorry, your voice is oil, sir. Okay, sir. Actually, sir, just we use the nematode. We didn't see any particular in control plot. We didn't apply the garlic oil. That's why I can't say. But in case of I assure that in case of where the nematode is found, it gives satisfactory result.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, again for a very good piece of work.
Thank you, sir.
Whether is not any earlier work reported on this nemacidal activity of allium oil? Any other work? This is your first report. I think
No,
many
sir.
reports are available.
Yes, sir. It's
If there, what is new?
Actually, sir, it's already reported, but we taken 18 sample of varieties for the seeing the chemotypic variation, and also the what the result variety to variety. If because composition is also variable, it's depend on the maturity and also the particular variety. That's why we also want to see that what the it's differ variety to variety or not. That's why we did this study, sir.
What is the source from where you collected these varieties?
Sir, I got varieties from the Division of Vegetable Science from the IRI only, from Dr. Khar.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Because it's not.
Mike, please.
Okay, sir.
I can repeat the question for you. He's saying that garlic itself has an infection of nematodes.
Okay, sir.
And if you're saying that the oil from the garlic can protect the plants from nematode infection, why the same oil is not protecting the garlic itself?
Okay, sir. Actually, I have not suggested this topic for my master, sir. It's already suggested by the committee. And I also said that there is a lot of herbal plants and medicinal plants which are also infected by the nematodes. It's not only about the garlic. There are a lot.
Generally, if the plant is infected by the nematode and you are showing that plant oil or plant active molecule is against nematode, it cannot be proved. And 3000 ppm, if you are showing this research, 3000 ppm, you know what is the rate? 3,000 kg per hectare you have to apply in the soil for nematicidal value.
Yeah, this is the.
So this type of research should not be encouraged. Okay? You are in IRI, you should not do research in this direction.
Okay, sir.
Have you gone the literature? Have you seen the literature?
Yes, sir.
Survey the literature. You have not surveyed the literature. Before starting any research, you survey the literature, then do the research. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Please.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise,
Thank-
it will be misguided to the student.
I think
Okay,
what
thank you,
sir
sir.
is trying to tell you that also look for the economic viability. That if you take an oil from an herbs like garlic, which has only 0.3% oil to start
sir.
up with,
Yes, sir.
and you have to go to such a high concentration,
Yes, sir.
then the cost of application of that oil would be very high,
Yes,
which
sir.
may not be
Yes, sir.
viable financially. So he's
Yes, sir.
saying, please look at the literature and try to see that how you can take it forward.
Okay, sir.
All right?
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Just to illustrate same example, we have an aromatic crops called Pacholi. Pogo istimon you must have heard actually, and that is normally attacked by these golden nematodes. So what we do now with same idea of this Subhas Palekar, we either use hing waste or garlic waste and make use in the Jivamrit, and that is good enough to solve our Pacholi plantations golden nematodes problem. It is very economical.
Yes, sir.
And also it is very effective.
Yes, sir.
Your finding is very good that sulfur components are very effective for handling the that is bioefficacy of the sulfur compounds for handling the nematodes problem.
Yes,
But as he told very rightly, 3,000 kilo of garlic per hectare, it will make very uneconomical.
Yes,
So
sir.
like in our CMAP, we are always thinking of industrial cost.
So I think,
To
Mr.
make cheap.
Chaudhary, you have very good suggestion from experts. No, you
Okay,
can
sir.
meet after.
Thank you, sir.
You can meet and discuss more how to progress further your research on
Okay.
this particular line. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you, sir.
So thanks Jeetram Chaudhary ji, and now I invite Ina Chaudhary, and she will talk on in vitro antimicrobial potential of ageratum, leaves and flower essential oil and their GCMS analysis. Ina Chaudhary ji. Dear audience, जोरदार करतल ध्वनि से स्वागत कीजिए ईना चौधरी जी का उत्साहवर्धन, क्योंकि तालियों से उत्साहवर्धन होता है और हमारे जो ओरल प्रेजेंटर्स हैं उनमें भी उत्साह का संचरण होता है. थैंक यू.
Good evening, respected judges and all of you. Myself, Ina Chaudhary, and I am a research scholar of Botany and Microbiology Department from Gurukul Kangri, deemed to be University, Haridwar. My topic today, I am going to present my presentation on the topic in vitro antimicrobial potential of Ageratum hostonianum leaves and flower essential oils and their GCMS analysis. Throughout human history, medicinal herbs and drugs have played a crucial role in the curing of diseases. Natural remedies can treat and heal diseases. Oils of natural plants are very useful and have different application in herbal medicines, food preservatives, and cosmetics, feed additives, etc. Nowadays, a significant number of medications being developed from plants which are active against several diseases. My methodology for my current research is collection of plant. My plant is Ageratum hostonianum. And second, then drying and grind the plant. Hydrodistillation method I have used for the essential oil collection, that is Clevenger apparatus I have used. Fourth one is collection of oil. First of all, I have done my survey and collection of Ageratum hostonianum leaves and flowers from Haridwar area in the month of January and February. After collection, leaves and flowers were washed with distilled water, left to dry and store until it is processed. The plant specimens was identified as well as authenticated in BSI Dehradun. I have done the identification of plant with these following features of the plant, that is the Ageratum hostonianum belongs to Asteraceae family. It is commonly known as floss flower, blue mink, blue billy godweed, etc. And it is native to Mexico and Central America. It is widely used as an ornamental flower. It is an annual erect ornamental shrub of 30 to 70 centimeter height. Leaves are opposite with serrate margins and ovate to heart shape. Then the second process is extraction, in which I have used 100 gram of freshly dried leaves of flowers of Ageratum houstonianum that were trimmed and hydrodistilled for 3 hours using Clevenger type appliance. The distillate has been saturated and anhexane was used for the oil extraction. Dehydrate with the help of anhydrous sodium sulfate to remove the moisture from the oil and preserved at 4 degrees Celsius for the further processing. Antimicrobial activity. For the antimicrobial activity, I have used Agarwal diffusion method. That is a very widely used and easiest method, in which agar plate surface was inoculated and near about 50 microliter of microbial inoculum was used, in which I have done 4 wells with a diameter of 6 to 8 mm with the cork borer, and tip and extract solution was 50 mg per ml introduced into the well. Then agar plates were incubated under suitable condition depending upon the test microorganism. My test microorganism that I have used are Pseudomonas aeruginosa, MTCC2474, Escherichia coli, MTCC40, Klebsiella pneumoniae, MTCC4030, Streptococcus pyogenes, MTCC442, and fifth one is Staphylococcus aureus, that is MTCC1144. Clindamycin, streptomycin, and ciprofloxacin were used as a positive control, and DMSO was used as a negative control. And then Gcms analysis was done, conducted using the thermoscientific TSKO 8000 gas chromatographs mass spectrophotometer, in which helium was used as a carrier gas. The constituents were analyzed by comparing their retention indices on the basis of NIST libraries. This is the result for the antimicrobial activity of both the flowers and leaves extraction, in which E. coli was very well inhibited by the leaves and the flower soil. And in case of K. pneumoniae, the positive control, that is ciprofloxacin and clindamycin, was not inhibited the pathogen, but leaves and flower soil give very good activity. But in case of P. aeruginosa, was not inhibited by leaves or any flower oil. This is the result of GCMS analysis. In case of leaf soil, I have identified in the GCMS 15 compounds, out of which beta-caryophyllene was present in major amount with the area percent 71.19, and other 14 compounds were also isolated. In case of Ageratum houstonianum flower oil, beta-caryophyllene again is present in major amount with 44.452%, and near about 17 other compounds were also present. If we talk about my conclusion, the leaves and flower soil inhibits the E. coli very well, and K. pneumoniae by the leaves and flower soil better than clindamycin and ciprofloxacin, and P. aeruginosa was not inhibited. In both the oils, 15 and 18 compounds were present, out of which 7 compounds were common in both the leaves and flower soil. The main compounds were same in both the oils were beta-caryophyllene, precocin 1, then followed by alpha-faminicin, then isocaryophyllene, followed by tetradecanoic acid. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Is this oil cheaper compared to the antibiotics?
Sorry, sir, I haven't.
Is the oil which you are using to
Yes,
inhibit
sir.
the growth of the bacteria, is it cheaper than the antibiotic? Like clindamycin, ciprofloxacin which you have used? Is it cost effective?
No, sir, it's not cheaper, but it's a technique or a step to know the essential oil activity against the pathogens. And they will give a very good activity. The tribal people, they use directly on the wound healing. Actually, my work was on wound healing. These pathogens are from wound. So my work is on wound healing. And this plant give very good activity against these wound pathogens. That's why I have used its essential oil to check the activity.
Antibacterial activity is different from wound healing.
Yes, sir.
Wound healing is a separate process
Yes, sir.
compared to antibacterial activity.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot compare both of them. Either you say it is antibacterial and it is comparable with the antibiotics with which you have compared. And wound healing is a completely different process in the
Sir,
body.
wound healing is okay, sir.
See, if there is bacterial infection, wound healing may be delayed.
Yes, sir.
But you cannot say that because people are using it for wound healing, it is antibacterial activity.
Yes, sir.
It may be having both properties. It may be enhancing wound healing, it may also be have antibacterial activity.
Yes.
But you cannot compare the antibiotic activity with the wound healing process.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Achha, did you calculate MIC values?
No, sir. In this work, no, I haven't calculated.
Okay. And whether you find your this oils are this inhibitory activities is cidal or it is bactericidal or only kills the bacteria or is static only?
Sir, it is bactericidal. Bacteria static, it may grow again. That will not be beneficial.
You need further study to prove.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Just one comments and answer to our first panelist is, have you calculated the cost of this oil? What will be the cost per kilo? So that because I can see that beta-caryophyllene, isobeta-caryophyllene and alpha-farnesins are the major component which are responsible for your therapeutic action.
Yes, sir.
But these are available from the clove leaf oil very cheap, something like 200 rupees a kilo. So this, what I try to do is, compare the cost of these two things, clove terpenes versus your oil. Your oil must not be less than something like a lakh of rupees per kilo, because the collection cost will be tremendous actually. So what in our commercial side actually, suppose if I want to give products to Patanjali, they will always expect a very economical cost.
Yes, sir.
So that is where the solution lies. So this your finding GCMS analysis are very good, but you can take lesson from that.
Yeah, sure, sir. But
beta-caryophyllene, isobeta-caryophyllene,
Okay, sir.
alpha-farnesine, these are the molecules which we make in few hundreds of tons every year, and you can just get it from us or from any source. And like in, I can tell you in Dantkanti we use this actually. So it's a typical applications.
Okay, sir.
This is just wanted
Okay,
to
sir.
give you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, we are just a research scholar. पहले हम अपना काम ही देखेंगे, उसके बाद अगर ये beneficial होता है तो ही उसको commercial level पे apply करने के लिए हम उसकी cost के साथ उसको I know, sir. No, sir. I'm not minding, sir. Thank you, sir.
Chaudhary, I think I had just two comments. One is this, that the isolation and the chemical characterization is like nice, because you could see all the compound you want to really see. But the microbiological part, I think still you have to do a lot of things. Just looking at one assay for few bacteria may not be the real ideal one. You might want to do like a solution cultures and trying to see, as Sir said, about looking for MIC 90. Only then you can compare with the existing antibiotics, because those antibiotics works as a much lower concentration, and as we have been talking about the cost effectiveness,
Yes,
that
sir.
comes in the picture too.
ठीक है.
So I think it's a very good start, and I think you are pretty much early in your PhD career.
Yes, sir.
So there is a lot of time, you can conduct more experiment, and of course go towards wound healing, and if you get both efficacy, that would be fantastic.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. I will surely work on your suggestions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ina Chaudhary ji. Now I request Dr. Gaurav Varshni ji to come on the dais, and his topic of discussion is numerical simulations of two-phase mathematical model for release of drug from drug-eluting stents. जोरदार करतल ध्वनि से स्वागत कीजिए डॉक्टर गौरव वार्ष्णेय जी का।
A very good evening to honorable judges और यहाँ उपस्थित सभी वरिष्ठ जनों को प्रणाम। I am Dr. Gaurav Varshney from Sri Dev Suman Uttarakhand University, Pandit Lalit Mohan Sharma campus, Rishikesh. And the topic of my talk and this presentation is numerical simulation of two-phase mathematical model for release of drug from drug-eluting stents. I am a mathematician, and this study is basically related to mathematical modeling. Mathematical modeling is a discipline in which we convert the real life problem in the shape of mathematical equations, and after solving these equations try to find out the solution and then apply these solution to interpret the results in the form of mathematical model. We all know the cardiovascular disease has historically been the leading cause of death in the developed and developing countries and accounts for approximately 1/3 of all deaths worldwide. In the world, coronary artery disease in particular accounts for over 50% of these deaths, and in last few years was the single largest killer. As a result, investigation into the cause of and treatments for this disease has been a high priority among researchers. So in my study, I studied the delivery of drug from drug-eluting stent. So these are a few cardiovascular disease, since all audience present here are basically related to the healthcare department, so all know about these diseases like atherosclerosis, intimal hyperplasia, thrombosis, aneurysm. And this is the basic structure of in our artery. Arteries specifically carry blood away from the heart towards the part of the body. The artery is composed of several tissues layer, and the outer edge of the artery is thin and firm, consists of layer of connective tissue called the adventitia. It prevents from rupturing of arteries. Inside the adventitia, artery is having 3 layers: adventitia, media, and intima. Inside the adventitia is the layer of smooth muscle cells, which is collectively referred to as media. It allows the artery to be flexible. On the innermost level of artery is the end exposed to blood called the endothelium. Specifically, it controls the expansion and contraction of the media, formation of new blood vessels, regulates blood clotting and inflammation reactions. So my work is related to the drug delivery from the arterial stent. So this is the basic background of stent. Stent angioplasty, we all know about, is a common procedure used to treat atherosclerosis, a medical condition characterized by the narrowing and contraction of coronary artery. A meshed wire stent is inserted into the coronary artery by means of balloon catheter to provide structural support and allow blood flow through the artery. Each year, near about 8 lakh angioplasty procedures are performed to treat plaque-clogged coronary arteries. This is the mechanical structure of stent. It is used for the treatment of blocked arteries. It is a small expandable slotted metal tube that is used to act like a structural scaffold to hold the artery open and allow blood flow to the heart. After a stent is placed in the artery, cells from the natural covering around the stent holding it securely in the place. Stents are usually made of electro-polished stainless steel laser cut from seamless tubing in a sinusoidal pattern. So this is the stenting procedure and how the blocked artery is opened with the help of stenting. The main problem is the insertion of stent causes some damage to the vessel, and often the endothelium is removed during the process, and the stent contacts the smooth muscle cells of the artery media layer. Until the endothelium grows back over a period of about 4 weeks, the endothelium's ability to inhibit smooth muscle cell proliferation is lost, and the vessel wall may thicken over the stent and reduce the luminal area called restenosis, which is the main problem after stenting. The stent provokes an inflammatory response which causes factor to be released, which could also encourage tissue growth and restenosis. The high incidence of restenosis is a huge disadvantage of this clinical technique, and often an atherosclerotic vessel must be stented several times before a suitably wide lumen is obtained. To reduce restenosis after stenting, drugs such as paclitaxel and rapamycin, and now many herbal drugs are coming, can be mixed with a polymer and coated on the stent. These drugs diffuse in the artery wall where they are taken up by the smooth muscle cells. The drugs interrupt their cell cycle and thus prevent their proliferation. Clinicians would like to obtain a uniform drug distribution over the arterial wall, which we have calculated with the help of numerical method. The main mechanism of drug-eluting stent is to allow diffusion of the drug from polymer coating on the stent into the arterial wall of a prolonged period of time. There are two layers of arterial wall, the intima, which is the closest to lumen or blood cavity, and the adventitia, which is the outer layer. The drugs currently on the market act solely in the intima layer by inhibiting microtubule formulation and preventing smooth muscle growth in the artery. The coating follows the expansion of the device. This is the mechanism we have adopted. It is biocompatible with surrounding tissues. Utilizing the stent will not damage the coating. The proper therapeutic amount of drug has been identified, and the coating can release the drug to accurately treat the lesion. So this is the mathematical model how we can calculate the delivery of drug from a drug-coated stent to our arterial wall. So we have supposed that the concentration of drug in the polymer is denoted by Cp, and the transportation of drug within the polymer is assumed to be dominated by diffusion. So this is the diffusion equation, which is diffusion equation we have adopted for diffusion of drug inside the arterial wall, where this dP, here is a term dP which denotes the diffusivity of drug in the polymer. We have considered the media as a porous medium consisting of a cell phase and extracellular fluid. We denote the concentration in the two phases by Ci, that is the cell phase, and by Ce, that is the extracellular fluid. The drug transport through the extracellular fluid is assumed to occur through both convection due to the fluid flow from the blood through the media with discharge U is equals to minus Vj, and diffusion. We also assume that the drug is absorbed by the cell at a rate Q, and once the drug is attached to a cell, it does not diffuse through the cell. So in media level, we have adopted this model where phi is the porosity of the medium, and we have adopted Q so that the rate at which the cell absorbs the drug is proportional to the extracellular concentration initially, but the ratio of internal concentration to the extracellular concentration equates to K. These are some boundary condition. We have to adopt some boundary condition for our mathematical model. So in the boundary between the polymer and wire, zero flux of the drug into impermeable metal wire, where the polymer is in contact with the blood, any amount of drug reaching the blood stream will be washed away by the relatively fast flowing blood. Therefore, the concentration at the blood polymer interface will be very low. Impose Cp equals to 0 at this boundary. So these are some other boundary conditions which are required to solve our model. That is, the media is in contact with the blood. The similar consideration that concentration at this place equals to 0. At the interface of media and the polymer, continuity of extracellular drug concentration and polymer drug concentration, and also continuity of corresponding fluxes of the drug. So this is our improved model that we have also imposed a top coat in the previous models, that we have adventitia layer, media layer, and then top coat, then polymer, and then wire. So this is improved model, not improved model, this is generalized model for drug delivery from the stented artery. So these are some other conditions, mathematical conditions for formation of our model, and we have converted this model into dimensionless model so that anyone can adopt this model to any artery of our body. So the mathematical model is solved numerically by using, we have so many methods for solving mathematical model. since in mathematical model we have non-linear partial differential equations basically, so we have to adopt some numerical method for solving the model. So we have finite difference method, finite element method, finite volume method, boundary element method. So I adopt numerical finite element method, and this method has been found to quite effective in solving the equation numerically for different time periods. So these are parameter values we have adopted for our model, and these are mathematical result. These are analysis from our model that it is clear that the drug is eluting from the polymer coating to the arterial wall. Concentration of drug is decreasing with increasing time. And again, these all are mathematical calculation. Again, we can show that the concentration profile of drug in the cell phase of media layer for different reactivity of drug, and drug transport is strongly controlled by the diffusivity of drug. So these are our mathematical results. And if in drug-free case, what will happen? If we don't coat the drug in the layer of stent, then what will happen? We assume, it is also a mathematical calculation, we assume that the artery is an axisymmetric tube of which we consider a two-dimensional cross-section. The lumen of the vessel is assumed to have a radius A. The radius of vessel up to media adventitia interface of R. As a simplification, we shall treat the stent as a hoop of radius R.
Mr. Gaurav, you are running short of time. Please,
Okay, sir. I am
just
concluding.
finalize
Okay,
your
sir.
conclusion.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let N be the volume fraction of SMCs within the intima, where rho is taken to be the volume fraction of cellular debris and extracellular flood. So these are some mathematical calculation, and we achieve that. This model thus predicts that the artery will become completely blocked after a time TB. TB is equals to 1 upon 2 log R square upon R square minus 1, where R is the radius of constricted artery. So if we have not used the drug coated stent, if we have not coated the drug onto the stent, then our artery, it is the prediction that artery will become completely blocked after this time. This is mathematical calculation, and this is the graph over our. So what is the benefit of this study? The benefits of numerical modeling of drug eluting stent are to provide a better understanding of the drug release kinetics without having to actually perform the experimental trials on patients. Although the model is only as accurate as the parameters and governing processes provided, it can provide insight on the efficacy of the drug and the parameters that can affect drug release. The data these simulations would provide allowed healthcare professionals to make more accurate prognosis for their patients. I would like to acknowledge my mentor, my supervisor, and मेरे गुरु जो हैं Professor V.K. Katiyar sir, is retired professor IIT Roorkee and now presently dean here, academic and research. आपके guidance में ही मैंने ये काम किया है. So I must acknowledge you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In what way your mathematical model is different from the currently available drug-eluting stents?
Actually, sir, all models are accurate, but we adopted different numerical methods for solving. We are having a newer method, finite element method. So we have find the result with the help of finite element method. So in finite element method, we break the whole our domain into different meshes and then apply the method and find the solution.
I have the same query. So thank you.
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Gaurav, I think it's a very detailed work. It's nice, but I have a few things that I need to be very clear about it, because I think I might missed it when you were explaining it. So you have a couple of assumptions. First, that you said that in your model you assume the drug will not diffuse through the cells. So what's the reason to take that assumption? Because in biological system it always happens.
Yes.
And second thing that I have, that you talked about the three values for drug permeability and this activity. and you have some numerical numbers taken. And I'm wondering what is the source of the information from where you have taken those numbers?
Sir, we have collected these information from various hospitals and met many doctors, and from the literature we have collected this information. And my guide, Professor Katiyar, has a project with Professor Dr. Gambhir from Kailash Hospital, and they provided us this data for this study.
I mean, you got a data from Dr. Gambhir saying the drug does not cross through the cell?
No. We are mathematicians, so we get, if you provide the data for any herbal drug, then we can calculate how that herbal drug will diffuse from the arterial as mathematical conclusion.
All right, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any question from the audience?
Yes, Dhanraj sir, any question?
He has a question, seems like.
Good evening, everybody. I appreciate your approach of really calculating these drug release of a herbal drug, especially in vivo. The concentrations of biological serum varies very frequently with different use of other drugs also. Does your plan of formulation or proof, does it stand in all different scenarios?
Sir, please
Did you get the question? Your mathematical calculation, in vitro it is okay, but in coming to the vivo, the concentration of the serum, blood levels, blood chemistry varies from time to time, and it differently interferes with the drug release of any drug. At that situation, does your concept stands good? This is my question.
Actually, the question by Professor Dhanraj, it's actually correct. For the validation of the results of this, I must tell that the model which we are using, that the true to scale silicon model, especially in the carotid artery bifurcations, in the aortic bifurcation, or the arterial coronary bypass, we have already done made the true to scale silicon model, and using the simulated blood as well as the model, we have tested all those things and validated the results in the Technical University Munich, and all those results have been validated, but we are looking for the herbal drug. But what I feel and what we discussed with the Dr. Gambhir, that we are thinking that the bead of the Arjuna, the entire bead, no stent please. In that metallic stent, if we use the herbal bead, and still Dr. Anurag Vasra is there, so I hope he will help me that go for the Arjuna herbal bead, the entire bead, because in that case no stents, no metallic stents, the corrosion will not be there, and once it is diffused, then the patient has not to wait for longer, and it will take long time, but time I don't know much, and I hope you will help me in future for that. That is my submission.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question from audience?
So thanks, Dr. Gaurav Varshney. Now I invite our last speaker.
There is one question.
Yes.
No, it is not the question. What I want to say, what you said, I fully endorse that view. Even I had some troubles, and I followed the same our Patanjali style of drug delivery systems, and it really works actually. Diffusivity cannot be modulated with Munich model. I am a chemical engineer, so I know these models are all humbug. You know what Swamiji was telling, the nanoparticles are there, and their diffusivity nobody has measured. And those diffusivity, even for air, we started measuring the diffusivity in the air, but inside the systems, it is all humbug. Thank you.
Sir, the concept of the diffusivity, The concept of the diffusivity, what we have, there is a coupling effect. Where inside the blood vessel, there is a concentration, okay? He said the presence of the nanoparticles. In the nanoparticle, the small size, because it does not affect, it does not hinder the diffusivity process, what we have done. The size of the nanoparticles, what we have used, these are the nanoparticles, what we have, especially the earlier, the styrene particles. Now we are, the styrene particles were already enough, then I don't exactly, but the DMSR solution we have taken, and all those, this experiment we have already done in the technical history book, and it was perfectly done using the 3D LDA. We have already done it and validated those results.
Thank you, sir. I think now we can move to the next or the last speaker of evening. Vipraji, or yours?
Second last, I think, sir. So I invite Dr. Ashish Goswami ji to deliver a lecture on in vivo evolution of antihistaminic activity of Dashanga Agad. और उसके बाद जीवी करुणाकर जी को मैं आमंत्रित करूंगी. मीनवाइल जब ये प्रेजेंटेशन स्टार्ट होती है तो हमारे बीच आगमन हो चुका है प्रोफेसर जेपी यादव जी का. ही इज द वाइस चांसलर ऑफ आईजी यूनिवर्सिटी मीरपुर रेवाड़ी. सर, हम आपका हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं और आपसे आग्रह करते हैं कि कृपया मंच पर आकर स्थान ग्रहण करें. प्रोफेसर जेपी यादव जी.
Good evening, respected dignitaries on the desk and off the desk. Myself, Dr. Ashish Bharti Goswami, Associate Professor, Department of Agat Tantra, Patanjali Ayurveda College, Haridwar, Uttarakhand. And topic of my presentation is in vivo evaluation of antihistaminic activity of Dashanga Gada. These are the contents of my presentation. So coming to the introductory part, as we know that Ayurveda is a traditional ancient Indian system of medicine which comprises of 8 branches. Mainly 8 branches are there in Ayurveda. Among them one is Agat Tantra, the department which I belong. Agat Tantra basically deals with the toxicology. So in Agat Tantra there are several formulations mentioned to treat various animate and inanimate poisons. Among the animal poisoning, Acharyas, ancient Acharyas, they have described different creatures like Sarpa, Kita and Luta. In English we can say snakes, insects and spiders, etc. And they have, which can create life-threatening situation if the poisoning occurs. Among them, one is Kitvisha, the insect bite, which I am talking about. Dashanga Agada is a formulation mentioned to treat all type of insect bites. It is a general line of treatment mentioned by Acharya Vagbhata. And if we see the symptoms mentioned by different Acharyas in case of insect bite or Kitvisha, they are like Daha, burning sensation, Pidikas, Shofa, inflammation, Granthi, heart swellings, Mandala, like wheels-like creations, and even Kandu, itching. If we try to find out these in modern text, above symptoms, said symptoms can be linked with the anaphylatic reactions caused by the release of histamines from the mast cells. Insect bite produces immune response in the body, causing allergic reactions, resulting in release of chemicals like histamine and leukotrienes. These can produce symptoms like urticaria, wheezing, laryngitis, and itching, etc. So, coming to the study, Dashangagda is a compound herbo-mineral formulation explained in an ancient Ayurvedic text called Ashtang Hridaya for treatment of Kitvisha or insect bite. The formulation is extensively used by Vishwavidyas to treat various symptoms aroused due to Kitvisha and other related dermatological manifestation. Unfortunately, this Visha Chikitsa is restricted to some parts of the India. Some traditional people use, but in Ayurvedic terms, In Kerala especially, the Vishwavidyas are treating insect bite with these drugs. And other related dermatological manifestation means there are two types of agada or anti-poisonous drugs. One contains poison itself and another is nirvisha, savisha and nirvisha agada. So this, the shang agada is a nirvish type of agada which can be used in condition other than caused by poisoning also. The present study has been planned for in vivo evaluation of antihistaminic activity of the shang agada to provide scientific validation to classical Ayurvedic formulation, which is the need of our and also the theme of this conference, that is modernization of traditional Indian system of medicine. This is the reference of the shang agada, which says the ingredients like vacha hingu vidangani sandhavam gaj pippili patha prativishavyosham kashyapena vinirmitam. Kashyapa Samhita is an ancient text. Kashyapa have written two books. One is related to pediatrics, another related to toxicology. So according to that, the Shangam Agdam Pitva Sarv Keet Visham Jayat. He says that in all type of Keet Visha we can use this the Shang Agada. So these are the constituents and the Latin names for the Shang Agada. Vacha, Hingu, Vacha like Acharya, Hingu is Ferula narthex, Vidanga, Amblia ripes, Sandava, rock salt, Gaj pipli, Piper chaba, Ativisha, Econitum hydrophyllum, Patha is Sisampalos periera, Shunti is Gingiber officinalis, Maricha, Piper longum, and Pipili is Piper, Maricha is Piper nigrum, and Pipili is Piper longum. They are called as, these three, Trikatu are noted as Vyosha in this quotation. Some of the previous studies I have studied, a study has been done in Papichhadri Vishikitsa Kendra, Kerala by Dr. Sandeep Binorkar. He has done a comparative clinical evaluation of Bilwadi Gulika against Dasang Agada along with Gras Chandav Dhara in the management of Vrishchik Damsha, that is scorpion sting, and in VPSV Ayurveda College Cortical, Kerala in 2006. So aims and objectives of this study is in vivo evaluation of antihistaminic activity of the Shang Agada. For this, we have collected raw materials and authenticated in the college. And for animal study, we have, after getting permission from IAEC, we have planned this experiment in one of the pharmacy institute where animal male Vistar rats were taken and chemical required for inducing inflammation were taken. For animal experiments, Vistar albino rats weighing 170 to 220 gram were quarantined for 10 days in 12 hours of dark and light cycle. After the acclimatized rats were divided into 3 groups, and there were 6 rats in each group. That is control, the Shang Agada group, and the loratadine group. That was the standard. Then control group, only distilled water was administered. In second experimental group, only the Shang Agada, and in third experimental group, that is standard group, loratadine was taken. Dose fixation was of the drug was calculated by referring the Paget and Burns table. And in the case of, if we look towards how we calculated the dose of the Shang Agada, because according to, if we read the Dalhan Tika by Acharya, Dalhan was a commentator on Sushrut Samhita, he has written that Kalka Modak Chuna Nam Karsham Madhyacha Lehta, means all the gutikas and means tablets and powders should be taken in 1 karsh matra, that is 12 gram. So or even in a wish condition, in poisoning condition, they have said that Mahatya Matra Yukti Riva Avsiyate. Mahatya Matra means the largest dose, which is the maximum dose you should deliver to the patient. So we have decided to take it as 12 gram per day. And in rat, it came after calculation 1.08 gram per kg per day of the rat. Then for experiment, we have induced poedema through histamine solution by injecting the histamine solution in right hind paw of the rat in each group of the animal. The control group was administered only with distilled water. The Dashang Agda was given 1.08 gram per kg of the body weight of the rat, and the loratadine, it was taken 25 mg per kg, and control vehicle, that is 5 ml only distilled water, that was 5 ml per kg was administered orally. Here, water is used as a vehicle. This was important because we have not taken even the Dashang Agda, we have taken water extract. Because the drug delivery, what we do, we give in water only. So that's why water is used as vehicle in this case. Then this was given 1 hour before the histamine injection. The linear circumference of the injected paw was measured after 1 hour of administration of histamine solution. The degree of edema measured using a plethysmometer at the time point of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour and 5 hours after the injection. Results were observed and statistically analyzed. Statistical significance between the group was evaluated by one-way analysis of variance followed by Dunant test. And this was less than 0.05 value was considered as statistically significant. These are the results. For this, we have used Graph Pad Prism software version 6, and here you can see the results of this study. The loratadine shows very significant result, and in first hour only, these are the percentage of inhibition of inflammation. So loratadine started acting within first hour only, and the Dashang Agda started acting from third hour. From third hour we have seen the reduction in the paw edema, and in the Dashang Agda, coming to the discussion part, in the Dashang Agda proportionate distribution shows that the 70% of the drugs are Ushnavirya, means they are having hot potency, we can say. In Ushnavirya means hot potency, we can say, according to Ayurveda. Drugs also possess Vatagna and Kafagna property. These are the two doshas according to Ayurveda. So in Keet Visha, sometimes we use, generally Visha are considered as Ushna, hot potency. So opposite treatment, that cold treatment should be given. But in this case, in Keet Visha, we are using some Ushna Chikitsa, like Grat Sandavdhara in case of Vrishchik Damsha. So these drugs possess, if we see the Nighantus, these drugs possesses Vatagna and Kafagna properties. These properties may help to reduce pain, swelling, as well as the itching sensation. It contains Vacha and Sandhava, which considered as Mutra Janana. Again, these can help. Mutra Janana can be correlated to diuretic like activity. So again, this may be helpful in inflammatory condition. Drugs like Vacha, Vidanga, Partha and Ativisha are Vishagna drug, anti-poisonous drugs. Hingu and Pipili also act as Sangya Sthapana. Sangya Sthapana means like if somebody is murchita or unconscious, so for regaining the conscious, these drugs can help because of their Tikshna Guna. Even in Visha condition, to regain the Sangya, that is consciousness, these drugs are to be used for blowing, for anjana, for just like irritation they will do to wake up the patient from the poisoning condition. And they also possess anti-allergic properties. Previous study shows that the piperine is absorbed very fast across the intestinal barrier. Among the contents of Dashang Agada, 10% are Sitavirya, cold potency, and 20% are Anushna Shita, means they are little bit Ushna and Shita, both are there. 20% are having Madhura Rasa, sweet in taste. All these are Pittagna property. Pitta is again, it is a dosha. Together may be useful to reduce burning sensation, daha, in the case of Keet Visha. So coming to the conclusion, the results of present studies shows that the Dashang Agda effectively suppressed the edema produced by the histamine. It may be suggested that the Dashang Agda exhibit its anti-inflammatory activity is possibly backed by its antihistamine activity. Since histamine is an important mediator of inflammation, causes vasodilation and increases the vascular permeability. These are some of the pictures from the experiment where we conducted the experiment. This is the plethysmometer. These are the handling and dosing of the rats, and measuring of the paw edema using plethysmometer. Nowadays, this mercury is not used. It is replaced by water also, and digital measuring machines are there instead of scale. And these are, so with this I conclude my oral presentation. For modernization of traditional Indian medicine, one should make some retrospective studies, because already these drugs are in practice. We need to do some animal in vivo, in vitro experiment to make it more evidence based, so that scientific validation can be done and can be used across India also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Goswami, for a very applied aspect of using the Sangha. Whether you prefer to, whether have you any idea whether to use as a oral or injection by injecting?
Sir, traditionally these medicine are used orally, but injectables is a further study can be taken, and that the injectables can be prepared. This is just my opinion.
Okay.
But these are, because the emergency medicines are the need of the hour for Ayurveda, because the common people thinks that in Ayurveda only chronic diseases can be treated. So taking this study, because the Agar Tantra is a toxicology branch where only emergencies we deal. Like insect bite, and even in Kerala, the Papinchari which Chikitsa Kendra I talking about, means per day I went there in a CME, per day they are having 13 to 16 patients per day in season of Malabar pit viper envenoming case, and that a scorpion bite case, and they are treating with traditional medicine. They have their own Ayurveda books called Vishwed Josnika, Kriya Komadi, like that. In Malayalam language they have these books. Now they are
whether we have to make whether we have to make a fresh formulation for use?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Because sir, self-life has been mentioned in Ayurveda for different, like Gutika and for Churna, everything self-life has been mentioned. And in a packed condition, it can be used for further more time. So no need to prepare freshly. But the clinical study which was conducted, Ghrad Sendav Dhara on the scorpion bite, there you have to mix the 100 ml, in 100 ml ghrata you have to take ghee, cow ghee, and you have to mix 5 ml of Sendav Lavana, and you have to mix, and lukewarm, means for 45 minutes you have to do dhara. And I have seen the result within 45 minutes, the inflammation has came down. But these, along with that, they are also giving this Bilwadi Gulika and the Sangagda according to the patient, sir.
Thank you for very valuable information. Thanks.
Dr. Ashish, that's a good presentation. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy that the practitioners of Ayurveda is going towards animal experiments and trying to prove the whole concept, how drug might be working. So thank you very much indeed. I have a couple of queries. One is this, that you have used a single dose of DA.
Yes, sir.
And you said that's a maximum dose which is described classically, which is 12 grams in a day. So any reason that you have not tried doing a dose dependence, trying to go to a lower dose and see, is there a concentration where you don't see?
Sir, basically in Ayurveda, when coming to the dose, it varies to person. Acharya Charaka says, aparigyat koshtecha payet aushadam mradu. In Charak Samhita, Chikitsa 12 chapter 67 quotation, it says that when you don't know the kostha of the patient, you should give mradu aushada. In medium doses you should give, we can say. But in case of poisoning, one should consider the higher dose. In practice, actually we give muhur dose. Muhur means
I don't have doubt with that. I'm just saying when you're trying to prove a concept by doing a basic in vivo pharmacology, then the principle of the pharmacology says that there has to be a no-dose effect somewhere. So
Yes,
when you
sir.
see a dose response curve, the whole output becomes slightly more stronger to
Yes, sir.
accept.
Yes, sir.
So generally people do that. So if you could, that would add a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of value.
In future, I will try that.
And second query I had that you used water as a carrier
Yes,
for
sir.
giving this medication.
Yes, yes.
So this DA is water soluble?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's herbs, right? Generally,
Not soluble, just as a carrier we use, sir. It is not water soluble.
so if you
Directly we have mixed the dashanga, the water extract we have taken, and that extract we have mixed with the water and we had given to the rats.
so you have given 1.08 grams of water extract.
Yes, sir.
Oh, isn't that a higher dose? Because your 12 gram is the raw material, like the raw drug dose for human. And if you make an extract of that, then it will get much more concentrated. Then your dose would be actually much higher.
Yes, sir.
So generally you get 10%. So from 12 grams if you extract, you will get 1.2 grams extractive compound. And if you are giving 1.08 grams of that extract, then your doses would be like close to 120 grams per day human dose.
Okay, sir, actually, I was not the expert in that field, and that the pharmacy college we have taken a co-guide, Mr. Ram Kumar Sahu. So actually, maybe it might be.
You might have considered those factors.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it would be, I mean, really, really difficult.
Yes, sir. In future studies, I will try to remember that.
Okay, my last suggestion is that all the poedema which is induced by either histamines or other components, they have a biphasic response for recovery. First is the acute inflammation, second is resolution.
Yes, sir.
So you do have the data that suggests that the compound that you are working with has a more effect on resolution. So if you are planning to strengthen that study, you could add into your discussion that a specific part of the disease is taken care by this test article. That might happen.
Surely, sir. I will try to do that, sir.
But
Surely,
thank you
in
very
future.
much. It's a very good
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you. Sir, any more? Wait.
Sorry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Goswami.
So thanks, Dr. Goswami. Now I invite last speaker of this session, Dr. Jivi Karunakarji, who is professor in Agatantra in toxicology in Patanjali Ayurveda College. कृपया जोरदार करतल ध्वनि से स्वागत कीजिए डॉक्टर जीवी करुणाकर जी का। और इसके बाद हम लोग एक और जो है वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के लिए, और इसके बाद हम इस सेशन को आज ख़त्म करके नेक्स्ट डे के सेशन के लिए शुरुआत करेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, madam. First of all, मेरा pranams to Acharya ji, Shatakoti Naman to Baba Ramdev ji for providing this opportunity. My topic is today lifestyle disorders and management with Ayurveda. I want to bring to audience and all the public and laymen also, it is my small effort, sincere effort to bring their notice what are these actually lifestyle disorders. Because day by day we are getting this type of problems. So that only my idea. A disease associated with the way a person or group of people lives. Okay. After that, in brief, lifestyle disorders are the result of ill relationship of people with their environment. Ill relation. People, they don't know what they are doing, whether good or wrong, or bad or whatever it may be. So they are ill relation with the environment. Environment, they are misusing. So due to that only, lifestyle disorders are common nowadays. And lifestyle diseases are also known as affluent society diseases. It is related with the society, public. Okay. And the common lifestyle disorders I want to bring to your notice, kind notice: hypertension, heart disease, stroke, brain stroke, obesity, diabetes, disease associated with smoking, alcohol, drug abuse, tobacco, and nutrition-induced cancers, chronic bronchitis, emphysema, and premature mortality. And last but least, Alzheimer's disease. People, they don't know what they are losing in terms of memory, dementia, or lack of concentration, or otherwise orientation. Alzheimer's disease in particularly old age people. Atherosclerosis, people are chain smoker, very stylish men and smoking, and they are going to get atherosclerosis sure in their life as a lifestyle disorders. Asthma or tamak swasa in Ayurveda, we used to say, cancer, liver cirrhosis, those who are elected for the sake of friendship, एक पेग लेने वाला है, उसके बाद मग लेने वाला है, उसके बाद बाल्टी लेने वाला है. This is so better to live alone instead of a bad company. You best to be alone. Don't go for the bad friendship. And this is my suggestion for the public. And cirrhosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, this one also, and diabetes type 2, metabolic syndrome, chronic renal failure, osteoporosis, acine, depression. Nowadays, it is a common psychological factor. Most of the person, they don't know what they are suffering with it. Okay? And obesity, in our scenario, we can include also like osteoarthritis, knee joint pain, and back pain, stress-related illness and addictions. Least but not last, addictions also should be taken into the consideration. Brief descriptions of Maharogas from the Samhitas. It is expressed in Susruta Chikitsa Sthana 14th chapter. Like I want to just read out Vata Vyadhi, neurotic related disorders, Ashmari, urinary calculus, Kustam, leprosy, skin elements, Meham or Premeham, diabetes, Udarroga, ascites, Bhagandaram, anofistula, Arshas, anus, piles, Grahani, sprue. These are correlated with lifestyle disorders, depending upon the condition. The materials and methods how it can be achieved means Samadosha, Samadhatu, Samagni, Samamala. We have to maintain the dosha balance and dhatu balance, that is tissue elements, and Agni, fire, digestive fire, and Samamala. And it is only possible with Prasanna Atma Indriya. It should be psychologically also, it should be pleasant. Simply taking the medicine and psychologically patient is ill-treated, ill-witched means no use. Okay, it can be achieved by Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and practice of yoga, sadvrta, and pranayama. Least or not, but last, pranayama, yoga is very important. Okay, and Maharogas and their simple treatment result with Ayurveda, Vatavyadi, Vasichikitsa or enema therapy is the best. And Gurtam, Thailam, Abhyanganam, Agnimanda Kshayam, drug name Agnimanda, one of the best to Vadhara, Ashmari for all stones. Or these are the Avagaha Svedam, Tikshna Svedam, Ushna Svedam, Vedana Aushadas. Ashmari should be broken, systolic, or otherwise any kidney stones, or otherwise pathari, usko break karna hai. Uske liye Kustam and Snehapanam or Kinjit Kushtagna Dravyas, Meham, Mutra Sangrihya Dravyas, Premeham, that is in diabetes mellitus, and Udar Rogas, Nityameva, Tikshana Virachanam. Always daily purgation is always for the Jalodara or ascites. Okay, and Bhagandaram, Sharasutram. Everybody knows Sharasutra is the best in Ayurveda, and so many people are using for the piles and fistula and ano. Arshas, Takrapanam with Haritaki. Haritaki with Takrapanam, usually best for the Arshu Chikitsa, and Grahani, Takrapanam, Musta, Saindava. Okay, and important remedies for the Maharogas, Vata Vyadi, Dashamola, Chitragam, Irgundi, Sahachara, Bala, Rasna, Ashwagandha. 28th chapter from the Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam, Vataroga. And Ashmari, Pashana Vedi, Trushanadi Churnam, 26th chapter from the Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam. And Kustam, Musta, Gandhakam, Makshiga with Gomutram, Madhvasavam, Kadagvindavarishtam, etc. from the Kusha Chikitsa 7th chapter from the Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam. Meham, Premeham or Madhumeham, these are the Tripala, is the best medicine. Ishala, Musta, Haridra with the Madhu, and Tanisha. 6th chapter from the Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam. Okay, Udar Roga, Takra Prayogam, always Udar Roga, it is useful, whether Jalodara or Takra Prayogam is useful, and even Arshas also, it is useful. Okay, after that, Bhagandara, Gurtapa Yogam, Narayana Churram is the best medicine for the Udara Roga, Jalodara. Bhagandara, Kutuja, Palandu, Pichavasti, Jachati Grudam, 14th chapter from the Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam. All are taken from Charaka Chikitsa Sthanam. Chikitsa Sthana is the basement for the Kaya Chikitsa or general medicine or internal medicine. Arshashu, Trayushadi Churnam, Takara Arishtam, Abhayarishtam, Dancharistam, Tanakaristam. Grahani, Dashamula, Takra Prayagam, Trikatu, and Gurtam, Tiktaka Gurtam, sorry, and Munimbadi Churnam, Madhuasavam, Mulasavam, Duralabasavam, and Madhvarishta. Reference from 15th chapter from Grahani Chikitsa, Charaka Chikitsa Sthana. common remedies. What are the lifestyle disorders? It is my small effort and sincere effort to bring to the public, nation and innocent person or even layman, what are the common lifestyle disorders? People using stylishly or lifestyle disorder, this and that. So, Alzheimer's disease, basically related with the brain, and it is basically neural disorder and known for exact cause but real breakdown of the cells of the brain. Distant. Okay, thank you. There is no treatment but good nutrition may slow the progress of this lifestyle disease. Alzheimer's disease, depending upon the age factor or Uddhavastha, it is a common for all the people depending upon the neurons. Okay. After that, atherosclerosis. People are chain smoker, very stylish man, and this and that, so Dhamanika Khatinyata, atherosclerosis. Athero means actually a simple word. It is a plaqueous formation of like a drainage tube. How drainage, all the sedimentation occurs like that in blood vessels. Plaqueous or fatty tissues are otherwise due to nicotine, tobacco, constantly taking lifelong, very longer duration. It is going to be accumulated and causes loosening of the elasticity of the veins and arteries. That is very micro arteries and etc. For the circulation, it causes disturbance. So hardening of the blood capillaries is known as atherosclerosis. That is plaque formation. Some sort of sedimentation like a drainage tube. It is going to be sedimented in the blood vessels. So those who are with the stylish habit of smoking, they will used to definitely get this lifestyle disorders. And after that, PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. These are useful like tila, coconut oil, sesame oil, and sarasut oil. One of the best oil I had seen in Patanjali, sarasut oil with the A and D vitamin combination, best in all the atherosclerosis disorders. It never causes any sort of fat formation or cholesterol. Diabetes leads to serious complications in heart, brain, eyes and kidneys. All of you know very well. Basically it causes brain stroke or maybe otherwise eye disorders, kidney failure, all these things. So many people, they don't know. Later only they are going to be visit the OPD, etc., etc. With the blessings of Acharya ji, we are able to get non-clinical persons also from the last 2 years.
Dr. Karunakarji, yeah, sorry, because we are a little bit late, so please summarize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Heart disease. So maintaining the weight and cholesterol, regular walking is the best for the heart diseases. Okay. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. It is characterized by the narrowing passage of airways, that is in lungs, and irreversible airway narrow and loss of lung capacity. Pranayam is best, and depending upon the patient condition, we can advise pranayam, otherwise kapalabhati, etc. Cancer, a disease of civilization. People are with a stylish approach and they are getting all these things. Osteoarthritis, sandhivata, low back pain. Nowadays, people are very early they are getting. And chronic liver diseases, consuming of alcohol. For the sake of friendship only, people are consuming alcohol and they are going to be get later only by notice they are going to get liver cirrhosis or maybe fatty liver. So my sincere advice and effort is don't go for the bad company or friendship. Be alone. Instead of, this is my message for the public and audience. Be alone instead of a bad company. Nothing wrong. You are the safe side. Once your liver gone or damaged, no friend is going to become to your parents suffer, your family suffer, and you are going to beat your children. This is my sincere message, sir. Okay. So with this conclusion, thank you for the opportunity, for giving the opportunity, Agarwal sir and madam, and very thankful for the judges also for my small effort. Thank you, sir. So this is my literary and review collection. So that's why I want to, bring to the notice of public and audience and layman and innocent man. Aam aadmi ke liye ye sari jaruri, because they don't know what is meant by lifestyle disorder, what is meant by diabetes, this and that. So it is a small effort made by me. So judges sir, I think if any mistake done me, please apologize me and forgive me, sir. Thank you very much for giving the opportunities. I am very thankful for the Acharya ji and Baba Ramdev ji and judges. Thank you, Anurag Varshini sir and madam.
Is there any drug for leukemia? For leukemia? For blood cancer? Is there any drug?
Okay, sir. It depends upon the condition, sir. That is this thing is 1 minute, sir. I am taking further time. It is a disease of civilization. Cancer generally, people they don't know what they are taking, whether fiber food or non-fiber food or etc. etc. Nowadays, hurry burry life means bakke, dodke bakke. So people are, they don't know what is the conditions are going to develop with your lifestyle, way of life. So, for blood cancer also, sir asked sincerely, characterized by slowing of progressing, irreversible, okay, this is cancer. Disease of civilization, I want to keep that name because it is a public disease, means they don't know what they are doing mistake or whether right approach or for their lifestyle. So, hurry burry, आज क्या दौड़ के भाग के, फिर पैसा कमाना है, money is necessary.
Dr. Karunakar, I think question is different. Sir, can you?
Right, I got your point, sir. Depending upon the condition, we can use some Rakta Shodhaka Dravyas and Rakta Vardhaka Dravyas, and that is depending upon the condition. We can, it is there in all Kashayganam. It is mentioned in Charaka Sutra Sthanam. 50 types of Kashayganas are mentioned. Each Kashaygana contains 10 drugs. So like that you may get more than 500 drugs all there. So this time actually limited time, that's why to mention all these things are not possible. So my sincere effort to bring to the notice to the all the public and judges also to make a small platform for the purpose. For everything there is a Kashayagana, it is mentioned in Charaka Samhita, sir. So with that Charaka Samhita Kashayaganas, we can slowly approach and prepare various compounds and medicines depending upon the condition.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। और इसके साथ ही हम अभी इस सेशन की उसके साथ साथ डे 1 की आपका क्वेश्चन है, ओके, तो डॉक्टर
Sir, there is a query from you, from your fellow colleague.
Rajesh Mishra.
Rajesh ji, you have mic there?
Mic please.
Hello. जी सर।
ओम सर, सर प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत अच्छा था, पर एक छोटी सी क्वेरी है। आपने अल्जाइमर डिसीज में मेंशन किया हुआ है कि देयर इज नो ट्रीटमेंट फॉर द अल्जाइमर डिसीज, सिर्फ न्यूट्रिशन के अकॉर्डिंग उनको हम ठीक कर सकते हैं। अल्जाइमर डिसीज, इन योर प्रेजेंटेशन यू मेंशन दैट Alzheimer disease, sir. I am talking about Alzheimer disease, which is you mentioned in your presentation.
You please mention, sir, which one?
Sir, back करें slide ना?
Atherosclerosis.
नहीं सर, और back करें Alzheimer disease. Yes sir.
Alzheimer.
सर आपका लास्ट स्टेटमेंट है there is no treatment. तो सर आपने जो ऊपर ये मेंशन किए हुए हैं इंद्री, ब्राह्मी एंड संपुष्पी देन और इसके बाद आपने लिखा है कि गुड न्यूट्रिशन में स्लो द प्रोग्रेस ऑफ द लाइफ स्टाइल डिसीजेस. So as per the division of the Acharya Charak, there is a two type of the division in Ayurveda which is mentioned. The first one is Asadhrab and second is Ahardhrab. So according to my knowledge, the above mentioned drug are the considered in Asadhrab.
Yeah.
So then sir, ये तो सर ये controversy हो गई.
Actually sir, due to age factor, actually there is a like a fever.
नहीं सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये नहीं है, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो ऊपर आपने मेंशन किए हुए हैं जो वे ड्रग्स हैं वो सारे औसत द्रव्य में आते हैं, बट नीचे आप मेंशन कर रहे हैं कि इसका कोई ट्रीटमेंट है नहीं.
Yes,
तो सर ये कंट्रोवर्सी हो गई ना सर फिर?
No, not like that, sir. There is no treatment, not like that. Actually, even though I mentioned it.
तो then सर ऊपर जो ये ड्रग मेंशन है, ये फिर ये किस लिए है सर?
Aindri, Brahmi, Shankhapushpi, Jyotishmati.
सर ये तो आहार द्रव्य नहीं है ना सर?
Nasyam is useful for therapy. Pranayam, Kapalabhati.
नहीं सर, ये ऊपर जितने भी ड्रग मेंशन है सर ना, वो आहार द्रव्य नहीं है, वो सारे औषधि द्रव्य हैं सर. तो अगर वो औषध द्रव्य है, इट मीन्स ये है कि ये डिसीज ट्रीट की जा सकती है.
बिल्कुल सर.
तो फिर ये सेंटेंस तो नीचे वाला जो मेंशन किया है.
Okay. Now the Patanjali products are very famous, and every arthroglut वगैरह, neuroglut वगैरह, all the beautiful medicines are came for the. Simply I'm not telling हवा में नहीं बोल रहे. All the things are there. We can include also depending upon the time allotted. We can include all the Patanjali drugs are also there.
Dr. Karunakarji, question is different, but still I can say कि आप इस सेशन के बाद एक बार मिल लीजिएगा और जो क्वेश्चन है उसका एक सही से एक डिस्कशन सॉर्ट ऑफ आंसर उसका तय किया जा सकता है. थैंक यू सर.
Thank you for your suggestion, sir. Rajesh Mishra ji, धन्यवाद.
Any other question? Thank you. इसी के साथ हम इस सत्र के आज समापन की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं और सत्र के समापन की ओर सबसे पहले मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करना चाहूँगी परम पूज्य स्वामी जी महाराज और परम पूज्य आचार्य श्री का, जिन्होंने इतने अमूल्य अपने समय से, इतने कीमती समय से हमें इतना सारा समय दिया और आज पूरा दिन वो लगभग हमारे साथ रहे। तो सबसे पहले मैं करबद्ध उनका धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करती हूँ। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पतंजलि के सभी स्टाफ मेंबर्स का, सभी स्टूडेंट्स का, जिन्होंने कमेटी वाइज पूरे एक अच्छे डिसिप्लिन मेंटेन करके रखा। उसके अलावा सभी कार्यों में जो अलग अलग फूड से लेकर हमारे एकोमोडेशन से लेकर स्टेज मैनेजमेंट से लेकर सभी प्रकार के दायित्वों का निर्वहन करने में आपका हमें सहयोग प्राप्त हुआ, मैं आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद करती हूँ। उसके साथ साथ मैं पतंजलि आयुर्वेद कॉलेज के रिस्पेक्टेड प्रिंसिपल सर और उनके साथ साथ पूरी फैकल्टी मेंबर्स और स्टूडेंट्स का, सबका मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि आपने इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के फर्स्ट डे को सक्सेसफुल बनाने में एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट भूमिका निभाई है। मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ हमारी पतंजलि ऑर्गेनिक रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट की सक्सेसफुल एग्रीकल्चर साइंटिस्ट की टीम का, जिन्होंने अपना प्रेजेंटेशन और उसके साथ साथ अपने कार्यों का यहाँ पर आज एक प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और जो कि बहुत इम्प्रेसिव रहा। मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करना चाहूँगी पतंजलि रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट की पूरी टीम का, जिन्होंने दिन रात पता नहीं कितने दिन और कितने रात मिलकर ये पुस्तकें तैयार की। केवल पुस्तकें ही नहीं तैयार की, इस कॉन्फ्रेंस की तैयारी के लिए भी पूरा अपना जी जान लगा दिया। मैं आप लोगों पे बहुत प्राउड फील करते हुए मैं आप लोगों का भी धन्यवाद करती हूँ। इसके साथ साथ मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ अपने कोलैबोरेटर्स का, सोसाइटी ऑफ कंजर्वेशन एंड रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स, उसके साथ साथ नाबार्ड और एनएमपीबी का, जो कि हमारे कोलैबोरेटर्स हैं, स्पॉन्सर्स हैं, तो मैं आपका भी धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करती हूँ। हमारे मीडिया बंधुओं का, उसके अलावा क्योंकि आपको पता है कि पूज्य आचार्य श्री की फेसबुक पे ये लाइव प्रोग्राम गया है, उसी प्रकार से बहुत सारे चैनल्स पे ये प्रोग्राम लाइव गया है। मैं सभी मीडिया कर्मियों का, मीडिया बंधुओं का, जिन्होंने इतना सपोर्ट किया, मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करती हूँ और आशा करती हूँ जिस प्रकार से डे 1 एक सक्सेसफुल इवेंट आप लोगों ने बनाया, आप लोगों के पेशेंस ने, आप लोगों के एक सिटिंग मैनेजमेंट ने या डिसिप्लिन ने ये जरूर दिखाया कि इतनी बड़ी गैदरिंग भी डिसिप्लिन से आप लोग उसको मेंटेन कर सकते हैं। मैं पुनः आप लोगों का हार्दिक धन्यवाद और अभिनंदन करती हूँ और ये आशा करती हूँ कि कल का कार्यक्रम, जो कि हर्बल रिसर्च को ही केंद्रित है, completely dedicated to herbal research, we have 17 speakers tomorrow, और उसके साथ साथ उसके अंदर जड़ी बूटी रहस्य से लेकर वर्ल्ड हर्बल एनसाइक्लोपीडिया से लेकर लगभग 65 ग्रंथों का विमोचन कल हो रहा है और उसके साक्षी, इस इतिहास के साक्षी आप बनने जा रहे हैं। मैं पूरा यकीन रखती हूँ कि जिस प्रकार से आज आपने इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाया है, कल भी आप इसी प्रकार से इस कार्यक्रम को, अगले कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने में अपना सहयोग देंगे। उसके साथ साथ मैं धन्यवाद करूंगी हमारे वाइस प्रेसिडेंट सर डॉक्टर अनुराग वार्ष्णेय जी का, जिनके मार्गदर्शन में, जिनके नेतृत्व में हम ये पूरा प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, एंड ऑल ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी मेंबर्स, जो कि एक आत्म होकर, एक आत्म से एक लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति की ओर बहुत अच्छे ढंग से सारा कार्य कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू सो मच। आप लोगों का डिनर की व्यवस्था यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पतंजलि के मेस में है और वहां पर 8:30 बजे से डिनर की पूरी व्यवस्था रहेगी। मीनवाइल यू कैन have a visit to our very good campus of University of Patanjali. In fact, tomorrow also day time में आप लोग visit कर सकते हैं Patanjali Research Institute as well as Agriculture Research Campus, जो कि हमारे research को dedicated to बड़े units हैं और आसपास ही available हैं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ thank you so much, good luck.